What's good, Judge and man, DL Saint? Welcome. I really want to know podcast. How y'all feeling? Happy Monday, all that good stuff, man. I hope you guys had a good weekend. Hope your week got off to a good start. It's business as usual over here for me. Not just keeping it 100 with you. Things are going the way that they're supposed to go. So yeah. Had a show yesterday. Did a dual stream with Based Oracle. Shout out to Based Oracle. He hit me up and he's like, "Hey man, I'm doing this thing. I'm having this conversation. Would love for you to join. Are you interested?" I'm like, "Yeah, I normally don't do stuff on Sundays, but yeah, let's make it happen." And it was a pretty good show. Pretty good show. Um, shout out to Based Oracle. Appreciate you, bro. And at some point during that show, looks like I'm having an issue getting on X. So I'm just going to remove it. There we go. Just going to remove it. It's gone. Sorry about that, guys, on X. If something was going on, I don't know how to fix it. So just going to remove it. So we're only streaming on YouTube on this particular episode. It is what it is. But yeah, during that conversation, Based mentioned that there are women today who want to go their own way. And that stuck with me. So I wanted to talk about it. And that's what we're going to do today, man. So let's get into it. And we are live. What's good, y'all? Welcome to the I Really Want to Know podcast, y'all. Man, get some indeed. So we definitely want to talk about it, man. The cost of hypergamy. That's what we're calling this episode. We got brother Dino Dinosaur in the house. What's good, fam? Like, how did the Bengals go at the weekend, DL? Bro, not only did my Bengals lose a game that they had no business losing, the University of Cincinnati Bearcats, my alma mater, lost as well. So, not a good week. Not a good week one for NFL and week two for college. But I mean, it's a long season for both, man. So absolutely, we will do better moving forward. My Bengals looked like garbage, bro. I mean, just they weren't prepared for that football game. And that's what happens in the NFL. Any given Sunday, any team could win. Doesn't matter. And, I'm also a fan of the University of Notre Dame. Notre Dame got beat down. The upset of all upsets, Northern Illinois University, NIU. Shout out to them for beating up on and fighting. So it was one of those things, man. Football. Appreciate y'all checking in. Please do me a favor. Hit that like button as you come in. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. YouTube loves going around to platforms that they don't really like and removing subscribers. So just check to see if you're still subscribed to me. There's a lot of people who are not. They do it all the time. I'm constantly removed from a lot of the platforms that I follow. Fresh and Fit, Entrepreneurs in Cars. Who else? I get Rolo's podcast. I get removed from that. Melanie King, I was removed from that. Even Suzette Speaks, they removed me from that. So Breaking Points, I got removed from that. So it's just the YouTube algorithm is going around. They're supposed to be removing bots, but what they're doing is just removing loyal subscribers, man. It is what it is. As far as Cincinnati, not really. I don't really follow it that hard. We lost our star running back. Couldn't afford to keep him. So that's Mixon. He went on. He's playing for the Texans, I believe. I think he's playing for the Texans. I think that's where he is. Anyway, we lost our star running back. We got a guy who's doing okay. But yeah, it's going to be a long season. We'll see where we end up, after the break and all that good stuff, man. It is what it is. It's like maybe YouTube links me to Fresh and Fit. The algorithm most certainly probably does. It is what it is. And it's not just me. It's not just this platform, and it's not just this world. It's not just the Mano Swamp. It's YouTube wide. Like YouTube is there's a YouTube content creator family out of New Zealand, really really popular, really G-rated stuff. All they just do reaction videos where they look at American stuff. Like they'll look at American military capabilities, or they'll look at American football, or they'll look at HBCU bands, or whatever they're looking at. It's all and they just react. It's mom, dad, and the kids. YouTube hit them hard, and this is that's just one of the when people saw that, they're like, yeah, the algorithms got here doing their thing, and YouTube is like, oh, we didn't know that was going on, but this particular family was able to fix it, or was able to fix it like in a matter of days. They just so happened to be at some content creator convention in the States when this happened. They were showing it. They're like, looks like YouTube doesn't want us. We're about to stop doing what we do. They spoke to a human, and then all of a sudden, within a matter of hours, it was turned around, which lets me know like that YouTube is doing this by choice. They have, they turn loose their algorithm to do whatever the algorithm is going to do. You can look at channels who have maybe 300 or 400 subscribers. They can do content with me, like do the exact same show, and they'll get thousands of views, and I'll get maybe 50. There's something there's something going on. When I say the exact same content, I mean it's a shared stream, and I'm looking at that because they have this ability to share streams now with content creators, and I'll look at it and I'll watch a video, and one content creator will get these crazy amounts of views, and then the other content creator will get like no views. And it's like, it's the same. But again, a lot of people like, you just don't understand the algorithm. And you're right, I don't. Right? This is a whole new, brave new world. And I ain't gonna lie, guys, I don't care. I'm just gonna continue to do what we do. We put out a lot of content, and those people who do manage to find us, especially through like the YouTube shorts, they like what they see, and they go through and they're looking at all the videos and they like it, and they hit me up, and they're engaged. So it is what it is. I'm not gonna trip. I'm not gonna trip, bro. Cody's Kings in the building. What's good, fam? Yeah, YouTube subscribes me to channels I never wanted. That's crazy. I didn't even check that. You know what? There are some channels when I went last time I went through my subscriptions. There were some channels. I'm like, what is that? You know what, bro? You on the some? I'm gonna go through it. I'm gonna go through the entire list. I'm like, wait a minute. Who is this? I never subscribed to this. Never even watched the content. But you got a good point, man. Yeah, I probably am tagged as all that, bro. I probably am, especially after this episode we're about to do right here. Probably. And the thing is, the computers look at it. Humans don't look at it. The algo is looking at it, and the algorithm is self-learning, and is doing things that YouTube is aware of, and they're just gonna let it happen. So, but they got plausible deniability. They can always say, "Oh, we didn't program it to do that." Bad algorithm. Yeah, it is what it is. Brother Pablo's in the building. What's good, man? What is good, bro? And Brother Dino's like, FYI, I saw Donovan Sharp has retired due to low views. Same thing. Like they came after him. Yes, they came after Donovan Sharp, and what he's just kind of. I don't think he's out the game completely. He's just not trying to make money anymore. He's just kind of like what I'm doing now. He's just doing his thing and talking and having fun. He's not worried about making money because Donovan was doing really well. But they went after Donovan Sharp. I mean, if you really want to make money on YouTube, all you have to do is go against the people in the Mano Swamp. Be very anti-male stuff, and you're gonna get pushed like crazy. Especially if you're about the alternate lifestyles and all that, you're gonna get pushed like crazy. But if you're asking questions or you're not for those sort of things, you're gonna get suppressed like crazy. It is what it is. And at some point, YouTube will get real competition, and then things will change. But until then, they're the only show in town. Basically, they're running it, doing their thing. They push certain channels and policies and politics. Yeah, they do, bro. That's a fact, brother Cody. That's a fact. We know, like the content we do over here, man. Like we do good stuff. We have good conversations, bro. Like we're not too far left, too far right, in my opinion. I think we're right in that sweet spot. But we encourage people to think. When we come over here, we encourage you to think. And especially here in America, bro, in the West, they don't want thinkers, man. They just want bots, right? They just want drones. They want you to be the battery that they need you to be to move their society the way they want it to move. They don't want you thinking. If Americans start thinking about what's going on here, well, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a real problem. Think French. Think the French Revolution, right? Think, the Bolshevik Revolution. Think that. That could be a real problem. They want people to be drones. They don't want folks to think, man. And it is what it is. If I were in charge, I would want my people to be as dumb as possible too. I would want nothing but worker bees. Don't ask any questions. Just do what you're told and pay your money. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Brother Dino, like, Dio, will you watch the debate tomorrow? No, that's a waste of time. That's not even a real debate. Like I said, these are two horrible candidates. I can't think of a choice worse than this in the modern history, like modern political history here in America. Absolutely worst two choices. It's like choosing between a pile of poo and then diarrhea. Like, do you want the solid poo or do you want the liquid poo? That's what I'm looking at. That's how bad this choice is to me. So no, I won't be watching the debate. There's nothing that I'm gonna get out of that. There are Americans out there who haven't made up their mind yet. It is what it is. Again, this race too close to call. This race will be too close to call. Day of the election, guarantee it. I don't think there's going to be any black swan events that can shake that up. People are going to walk into the polling place literally not knowing who they want to vote for, and I'm talking about that small percentage that probably 8%, 8 to 10% of Americans who are actually going to choose the next president. And everything seems to boil down to Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. If the Democrats hold on to the blue wall, they win. If the Democrats do not hold on to the blue wall, they lose. And right now, if the race were tomorrow, this is according to the New York Times, I believe, put out a poll. If their election were tomorrow, Trump would win Pennsylvania. And if Trump wins Pennsylvania, he wins the whole thing. So that could change tomorrow. That could change tomorrow. Project 2025 was definitely bad for Trump. He has not been able to really distance himself from that. Infringing on a woman's right to choose her reproductive rights definitely hurts. Team Trump and Republicans. Picking JD Vance. JD Vance talking about the cat lady stuff. We got a video on that here. Actually, one of the videos we're going to watch today talks about that. That doesn't help. But you look on the other side, you look at the Dems, young women, especially young black women. I think you told me this, brother Dinosaur, that information came out. Something like a 75% increase in voter registrations among young black women. It might be 175%, somewhere in there. A ridiculous amount of money. And most of the amount of money, a ridiculous amount of registrations. And those women, probably college kids, they're going to go vote. So if you got 175% increase of African-American women, young women from 18 to 24, best believe 90% of those women are going to go vote, if not all of them. So, and you know who they're voting for. So that's again, this is why this race is so close. It's too close to call. No one really knows. It's definitely a toss-up. There are people out there saying that one person is going to win versus the other, but if you were a betting man, it's even money. Even money. North Carolina, even Florida women in play now. North Carolina's in play. Georgia's in play. Florida, I think Florida remains red. I think Florida remains red. It's there, you don't see like here in Central Florida, here in Tampa, this used to be a huge bed for Trump supporters. You would see them every Friday out with their hats and their flags and their T-shirts. You're not seeing that. You're not seeing that. And to me, that's telling. That's telling. Now, it doesn't mean that these Republicans aren't going to vote for Trump. I'm not saying that, but they're not enthusiastic at all. Like, you look over the past, especially 2 to 3 years after January 6th, a lot of people in Central Florida got arrested behind January 6th. And they realized too late that they ain't going to do nothing for you. So, it's just telling to me that you don't see that. I was out yesterday and where was I? I was in Clearwater, Florida, at one of the bars I go to watch football. And I saw a guy out walking his dog, and he was wearing a MAGA hat, the typical red MAGA hat. And he's walking his dog. And the guy you could tell he was ashamed, bro. He was looking around, and he didn't go into the bar I was in. He didn't go into the restaurant that was next door. He went back and took his hat off. I don't think anybody said anything to him, and that's Republican land over there where I was. But it just goes to show you that people are, it's a toss-up, guys. Absolutely a toss-up. Like this is the last election, the baby boomers will be the majority. Yeah, baby boomers definitely dying out, bro. That puts Gen X at the top of the list now. And Gen X is, we're definitely not the boomers. Nah, bro. The cough ain't getting nobody down here, bro. They all right, but it's poor driving gets more people than that. Right? I mean, than that. Poor drivers down here. Man, they can't drive, bro. I mean, I was just picking up my daughter last night, coming back from picking her up, and we're driving down the freeway and going the opposite direction. My daughter is looking over. She's like, "Look, Papa, the cars on top of each other." Like it was just wrecked. Somehow these cars managed to get on top of each other. And then we drove down another quarter mile or so, and it was another wreck. She's like, "Look, there's another wreck." And it was, fire and police were everywhere, and the northbound lanes were shut down. I was on the southbound lane, and I must have just missed it. I must have just missed that collision. If I'd have been maybe 20 minutes later, I'd have been stuck in that. Yeah, people down here in Florida cannot drive. They just can't. It's ridiculous. Central Florida is like the worst. Florida in general is bad, but Central Florida is probably the worst I've seen in America. It is what it is. Brother Griot's in the building. What's good, fam? Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Appreciate you guys coming in, showing the love, showing the support. It's like your F1 Florida driver got the boot. Bro, look, man, these people, it's not even F1. It's like, demolition derby style down here, like NASCAR, bro. F1 takes skill, bro. Like it's NASCAR down here. These people don't know what they're doing. And you see it all the time, like cars flipped over, stacked on top of each other. I've seen some of the most horrific car accidents I've ever seen down here in Florida. But let's get into what we want to talk about. We want to talk about the cost of hypergamy, man. We want to talk about what's going on with feminism. We want to talk about where women are today with mate selection and what's going on with the sexual marketplace, bro. We were talking about this yesterday with Base, man. I'm seeing when I go out, when I'm out and I'm in the lounges, I'm in the restaurants, I'm in the bars, high-end stuff, the mid-grade stuff, and even the hole-in-the-wall joints. I'm seeing women alone in groups. I'm seeing women alone. And I have, there's lots of women come up to me and ask me, why is it men aren't approaching them, right? So it's definitely on their mind collectively, especially single women who have taken care of themselves and, they're pretty, they're not, they're kind of feminine, but they have a lot of alpha traits and they're wondering why men aren't approaching them. And of course, when a woman says, I can't believe men aren't approaching me, it's like, no, men are approaching you, just not the men you want to approach you. They're like, no men are approaching me. What do you mean? And then we'll sit down and get into the conversation and I'll point out to them, like, I'm pretty sure that you had some guy. Well, yeah, it was just one dude who, I'm like, okay. And then what about this? Oh, yeah, that's that one guy. Oh, and this other. I'm like, so dudes are approaching you. She's like, okay, I see what you mean. Yes. She's like, yeah, you're right. The guys that I want to approach me aren't approaching me. She's like, so why is that? I'm like, well, because it's too much work. The guys just don't want to deal with it. There's not enough juice for that squeeze. Right? He's just tired. He doesn't want to do it. He just, that's what the guys are just like, So this is forcing women, my opinion, this is forcing women to go their own way. So when we say, are women going their own way? It's not by choice. They're going their own way because they can't get the guy that they want. At least that's my take on this. Grills, oh, you were in Miami? That's what's up, man. That's we got a lot done out there. That's what's up, man. I'm glad you were down there, bro. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you going down there, checking out Miami. Looks like I'll be in Miami the first weekend in November. It'll be like November 1st weekend. We'll be in Miami. All the generals from Castle Club and the city groups will be down there. I'll keep you guys posted. It's gonna be good times down there. So yeah, women seem to be going their own way, but not by choice. And this is what I wanted to discuss. So here's an article in Business Insider. This was about a year ago, November 2nd, 2023. It's in the health section. And it was talking about this phenomenon. I want to kind of get into it. This woman says, I'm 38 and single. I recently realized I want a child. I'm terrified I've missed my opportunity. This is a thing. This is a thing. This is what's going on right now. Women are chasing the bag. They're getting their education. They're getting on with their, professions. Like they're working with these corporations and they're making all this money. They're focused on their careers. And then they wake up one day, like this woman, 38. It's like, I want a child. Ooh. Ooh. 38 and you want a child? Do you have a boyfriend? A lot of them don't. A lot of them are going out there having fun. They could go out here and smash dudes. They're women. They know that they go out and get sexual access to a man whenever they want. They might not be able to get the dude that they want exactly, but they can get that dude to have fun with them for the night or for the week or whatever. The chick can get into a rotation. And some women are doing that. Some women might try the rotation thinking, once he gets with me and I get him in bed, I'm going to give him the best love ever. And he's going to get rid of all these women. And they realize that's not the case. They realize that she's not even that good from his point of view because he's messing with all these other women. Like he's dealing with the crazy girls who have the best sex. And then they just stop. Right? They just stop. So here's a woman right here. She's terrified she missed the opportunity to have kids. There's a picture of her right there. Just girl next door type looks. I didn't want kids. I didn't think I want to get married again after my divorce. So she had been married and divorced, didn't have any kids. But I recently realized I actually do want to build a life and a family with someone. I'm almost 39. Almost 39. And I'm starting to panic about whether my chance to have a child has passed. Maybe it has. So the article goes in like I can still picture it. I was 20, sitting on the kitchen countertop with my legs dangling over the cabinets. He was 21, leaning against the stove of the home we hope we share. We've been dating for nearly 2 years, and we're at a standstill. I was clinging to my dream of moving 5 hours away to attend the design program at the Art Institute of Seattle. He wanted a simple life with children and home cooked meals and a little resort town of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, where we met in 6th grade. Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, where they met in 6th grade. That day in the kitchen, we decided to stay together, and we each gave up something to do that. I would no longer pursue design school and the big city life I'd always dreamed of. And he'd forego having children and a wife who prioritized homemaking. I made it clear to him I did not see motherhood in my future and that he needed to be okay with that. 2 years later, we're married. So she put it out there, right? She made it happen. She was like, all right, this is the deal. This is how it's going to go. They were young. They were a couple. They both had their ideas of what they wanted. He wanted the traditional life sound like, and she wanted to go to the big city and get the bag and do that. Okay, cool. Okay. So she told him what was what. Like, this is what you're going to have to do to keep me. And he did that. So they went in 2 years after that point. They got married. And she made it clear, I'm not having any kids with you. So he had to give up having kids, being a father, and having a wife. Now, here's the thing. Her biological clock is ticking, even at 22. But for him, he could be 32, 42 and still get that family that he wants. Right? And this is a guy that she'd known since 6th grade. This was a problem. She made a bad choice here, in my opinion. She made a bad choice. And I think a lot of women are doing this. My now ex-husband wanted kids and a stay-at-home wife. My husband thought I'd change, which is a problem, dudes. Women aren't going to change. Like, ladies, some of these dudes aren't going to change. Like, you got to take people's word, right? Her husband thought that she changed. And I thought I could change for him. I told myself that it was silly to go after my dreams and that I would be content in the pretty mountain town where I grew up. right? So she's thinking like I should be content where I grew up. This is silly. Want to go to the big city and do all this stuff. She's like, but I grew resentful when he asked where dinner was or complained that his gym clothes hadn't been washed. I did little to have my disdain for the small town life. He was a good and hardworking man, but I didn't think I made him feel that way. Wow. So she's like, I'm not trying to be a housewife. I don't want to be a mom. How dare you ask me about dinner and washing your clothes? I got a busy life too. I don't like being in this small town. How do you handle this, guys? You don't. This is going to end one way. We were young, foolish, and sweet, thinking our love would allow us to overcome our differences. We were also very wrong. I mean, she was dug in and he was dug in. I mean, that's all it was. She was dug in, he was dug in. Shortly after I turned 30, we discovered we were both tired of sacrificing the things that were important to us for each other. That's when reality sets in. She's 30, he's in his 30s, but guess what? He can still have babies. It's going to be hard for her. It's going to be easier for him to get into a relationship with a woman who wants to do that. But she wants what she wants. There's nothing wrong with that, guys. There's absolutely nothing wrong with what this woman decided to do. The only problem is she's got to own it. She's got to hold it. I didn't think I'd want to get married again or have kids. I told my friends and family I'll never get married again. I needed independence, a fulfilling career, and space to chart my own course. And I didn't think marriage fit into that vision. I was content to look towards a future without a husband, children, or the trappings of a traditional life. Bro, this was her choice. She's like, look, I don't need that. She's ready to move to the big city. She's ready to get her career going. She's already behind the curve because she sacrificed that up front so she could marry this guy. She got married to this guy. It didn't work. They got divorced. She didn't talk about the divorce, so maybe it was one of those easy divorces, one of those quick divorces. Why? Because they both didn't really have anything, and what they had, they built together because they've been together. So they just kind of, okay, even split, whatever. Maybe she was making more, maybe he was making more, maybe they were making the same. It doesn't sound like she had like a crazy divorce, and all she's looking at is alimony, really. Right? That's all she's looking at. Brother Pitney in the building. What's good, fam? Yes, please like the video. But she was like, look, she didn't want any other trappings of being having a traditional life. She goes on, I was also in no hurry to get into a serious relationship after my divorce. I was terrified of repeating my mistakes. Nevertheless, months later, I stumbled into one that lasted 7.5 years. This is one of those things that the red pillars and the Mantle Swamp talk about. Women say one thing and do the exact opposite. She was like, I was in no hurry. I was in no hurry to get into a serious relationship. So right after Ripper tells me, well, you were out there smashing, having fun. You just didn't want to do anything serious. But, months later, you're in a relationship that lasts 7.5 years. So it didn't take her long to find someone. So she got into this relationship in her early 30s. So now she's at her late 30s when this relationship is over. And she said she didn't want to be in a relationship. I didn't want to be in a serious relationship. I don't want to have kids. I don't want to have a husband. I don't want anything traditional. Yet that's what she did. Right? This is why people tell you, like, man, like, don't listen to what people say. Watch what they do. Shout out to Michael Certain. He talks about this all the time. Watch what they do. I can't tell you how many women told me, I'm not coming home with you, but they come home with me. I can't tell you how many women done told me, I don't want to go to this festival, whatever. Hey, go to the festival. I mean, it is what it is. Watch what they do. Don't necessarily pay that much attention to what they say. So her 7.5 years in this serious relationship that started months after her divorce. She's talking about this guy now. He was significantly older and wasn't interested in marriage or children, and we were focused on our careers. We expected little of each other aside from fidelity, which is what she wanted. Dude was probably out there doing his thing. We took trips, drank nice wine, and stayed out late without the expectations or duties of a shared mortgage or a family. We simply enjoyed our time together. When we were apart, we did our own things. Wow. Those were great, easy years. Wow. Okay, so she got with an older dude. Now, the older guy's like, when the dude says he doesn't want to have babies, what do? Snippety, snip, snip. We ain't having them. This guy came in and he's looking for someone that he can just basically have that sexual access and someone he can go out and kick it with and talk to and do his thing. And she's with that. She's loving it. They're drinking wine. They're going out. They're hanging out late. They're doing all the cool stuff, probably having crazy sex. He's older. He knows what he's doing. He's more experienced. He's probably like, this is all I'm looking for. I can relate to dude. I get it. Especially as a single dad. I am not looking for anything remotely close to any kind of relationship. Like, yo, if you want to do something, we can go have fun. We can bounce up and down on each other, but that's it. High five. See you later. Good game. That's me right now. Now, once my daughter is out of high school, maybe that changes. Right? Because look what they were doing. They took trips, they drank nice wine, right? They kept their stuff separate. She's doing her thing professionally, he's doing his thing professionally. They really didn't have any tie to each other other than, okay, well, we're together. While we're together, I'm not gonna mess around. But once we go apart, like if you go somewhere and I go somewhere, we do what we do, we come back. That is the best situation that a dude could hope for, right? Especially an older dude. Like, man, I'm sick of Tash. She's younger than he is. Like she said, he was significantly older than she was. So she was in her early 30s when it started. So he was probably close to his 50s. He's doing his thing. That's a dude who has a heavy dose of the red pill. That's a dude probably straight out the Mano swamp. He's like, yeah, I'm getting what I want. I don't have to lie to her. I don't have to sneak around. I like her company. She's not pressuring me to do anything. That's the number one thing when you, as an older guy, as a guy in general, you get with a woman, she's like, she wants to get married. She wants to have kids. That's the number one thing. If she's not doing that, then the guy's getting everything he wants. You want to talk about getting the milk for free, bro? He ain't thinking about buying this cow. But, right, she was like, yo, those were great years, easy years. I ain't joking, that was so easy. But that's a whole decade she wasted not, planning to have a kid, not planning to have a family. She's just doing her thing, bro. Brother Pablo. Wonder if her ex-husband remarried and had kids. I bet he did. I'm 100% he did. I bet you she talks about it too in this article. I bet. I'm 100% he did. So she continues. It was an incredibly healing relationship. And ironically, I started to become the woman my ex-husband had wanted. I enjoy cooking, cleaning, and caring for someone who was when it was my choice and when it wasn't asked of me. I've been so preoccupied with preserving my independence and caring for myself that I hadn't realized how much I could enjoy caring for someone else and allowing them to care for me. So what does this tell me? Her sixth grade sweetheart just wasn't the dude she wanted. He probably was too soft, or maybe he was too extreme. Maybe he really was the make me a sandwich. How come the kitchen ain't clean? Why is all this laundry piling up? And she just didn't like that. But she gets with a dude who's just like, baby, I don't want nothing from you. I don't need you to do anything. Just come over here, let me hit it, and you can go on about your business. So long as you're over here living within my frame and doing what I want us to do, then you're more than welcome to stay here, babe. But the minute you get out of pocket, you got to go. And this is what the older new dude was saying. And guess what? She fell into it. This is an example of her falling into his frame. The new guy, she fell into his frame. He was able to stimulate her mind and her body. Right? He's the guy. He's cool. Like, he's probably like dressing nice. He's smelling good. He's probably, they probably had a nice lifestyle and she was enjoying it. He's probably mixing and mingling with, big dogs. Maybe he's one of the bigger fish in the smaller pond or whatever. Because I think she's still in the small town. I don't know if she went to the big town yet. Or maybe she's at the big town and he's like one of the movers and shakers. Women love that, bro. Women love it, bro. I can't tell you how many times I've had women chase me simply because I was the guy in charge. I tell you guys about it all the time. Michael Certain talks about this all the time. That's what MOA is all about. When women see you take command, you take charge, and everyone is running to you, you're making all the decisions, they find that attractive, man. A lot of women do. So she went from, I want to be independent, I'm a feminist, how dare you ask me to make you a sandwich, wash your clothes, or clean the kitchen. She finds a dude, a real dude, right? A top tier guy. And she finds herself doing those things. I want to make your lunch. I want to clean the bathroom. I want to fold your clothes. I want to go to the laundry, dry cleaners and pick up your dry cleaning. I love the fact that he's cutting the grass and he washes the cars and he, whenever we get a shelf or we need to hang a picture, he hangs the picture. She fell into her role as the woman. She fell into her feminine because she had the dude that was masculine and it was working. Right. But I guarantee you the problem was dude was serious when he said he didn't want nothing serious. He didn't want no kids. Now she's wanting his kids. Dude's like, snippity, snip, snip, snip. I bet you I ain't having no kids. I ain't taking it. Dudes realize like, look, I know how people move. I'm going to make sure I can't have children because I don't want to be in a position where the other person can say, oopsie, I didn't take my pills, or oopsie, that protection didn't work. And now we're about to have this kid. Right. And it's just funny how she was like, she didn't know how much she would enjoy caring for someone else. She goes on, I changed my mind about wanting to build a family with someone. She changed her mind because of this guy. I started to think I might want more than easy, aimless relationship. She wants more than an easy and aimless relationship. I realized I might actually want to build a life from the ground up with someone who wanted the same thing. And while I knew that might take more work, it also felt like the type of connection worth pursuing. Ladies, you got to come to this epiphany sooner. Y'all got a biological clock that's ticking. And even with modern medicine, it's hard to have children later in life. Once you get into your 30s, you become high risk for pregnancy. Ladies, that's just, they call it geriatric pregnancies. There's issues. It's hard. It's hard. She continues, I felt restless and I couldn't ignore what I wanted. What I wanted has changed. She couldn't ignore the fact that it has changed, right? She felt restless, right? Though we were technically together, we were living our own lives. That was exactly what I had wanted and needed after my divorce. But autonomy was no longer my top priority. It felt like the relationship had run its course. He's a wonderful man and we're still close, but we'd entered our relationship without intention or a shared vision of our future. Dude had he knew what he was doing. It was very intentional on his side. Very intentional. He knew what he was doing. He was just smashing. He knew it. Hey guys, still working on my technical issues over here. So if doing this, if you can't hear me or something like that, if my camera goes out, the problem is with my camera. I got to figure out the settings. So what I'll do is I'll just don't go anywhere if it happens. What I'll do is just reboot everything real quick and come right back. So if it happens, don't go anywhere. Brother Mandrell's in the building. What's good? My favorite snake eater. And it's not the Matrix shutting me down either. So it's the camera. I just got to figure out the settings for the camera. Same thing happened when I was on Based Oracle. Right around an hour in, it kind of does that. So I just wanted to put that out there. But she's saying she met this guy and they entered the relationship without intention. He entered that relationship with intention. He told her, this is how it's going to go. If you're going to be with me, it's going to go this way. He told her. Now, she agreed to it, but maybe in her mind, just like when she got married, she agreed to terms that she set. She set the terms to conditions to be married. She agreed to it. She came up with the conditions, and then she pulled out of it. Same thing here. But this time, he told her, these are the conditions. This is what's going on. If you're going to be with me, it's going to go down this way. She's like, okay, because that's what I want. Right? I don't want any responsibility. I want it to be fun and easy and blah, 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 blah. Dudes like, bet. That's what we're doing. right? Now, keep in mind, this came from him, not her. I don't care what word she's using. This was dude. Dude told her, this is how you get into my frame. I'm not doing what you doing over there. We doing what we doing over here. And she said, okay. Right? She said, okay. But she's ready to change the conditions. Why? She want to have his kids. She wants to be a mom. She wants to be a traditional woman, but she wants it with this guy. Let's see how it turns out. We broke up shortly before my 37th birthday, right? We broke up, which means he dumped her. Over the following year and a half, I dated around for the first time in my life. I broke hearts, and my own heart broken, and did in my did in my late 30s what many people do in their 20s. Oh, okay. So she broke up with dude. She said she broke up with dude, but dude really broke up with her. And after that, she was hurt. So she went out there and started smashing. She started getting it in. And that's what she means by I did in my late 30s what most people do in their 20s. She had her whole phase. Right? She couldn't get the guy she wanted. She went out there. She said she broke hearts. She got her heart broken. And she was out there smashing. It's like, I didn't know it then, but I was learning what I wanted and needed in a relationship. Ultimately, I want to build a life with another person, not simply join theirs when it's convenient. Right here, bro. She did not know what she wanted going back to her 20s when she was with the boyfriend that she known since 6th grade, and he loved her and she loved him, and she laid down the rules, and that didn't work. Then she starts messing with her older dude. And that dude, he showed her the joy of being feminine, the joy of being a woman. Through his masculine, she was able to take on her feminine, and she was loving it. But dude told her the truth. I ain't trying to be with nobody. I'm not going to be in no serious relationship, and I'm not having kids. So she probably did whatever, like came off the pill. You're like, well, we'll put it in God's hands. It's off the pill, right? She's probably saying, I'm still good, but he probably had the old snippety snip, snip, snip. He can't have babies. And then she gets to a point like, how come we're not having any kids? And it comes to a head. And he's like, I'm not doing it. And he probably told her, like, I can't have kids. I'm fixed. And that's it. Probably a big blow up. He let you go. Like, well, look, obviously you want something different now. It's been I love you, but you should go on and do you. Go on out there and do you. Right? That's what I think happened there. And then after that, she was just kind of out there adrift. And she's like, I'm just going to go out here and smash whatever I want to smash and just go out here and do what I want to do. The whole phase that they always talk about. She said, I started doing in my late 30s what most people do in their 20s. It's like, and I didn't know it then, but I was learning what I wanted and needed in a relationship. Man, she was just out there smashing. She didn't care. She was hurt. She was hurt. I've been there, done that. And when you go out there, especially as a man, bro, that can have some serious repercussions. This is why I tell you guys, man, don't go outside in these dating trenches if your head ain't right, if your emotions ain't right. Stay in the house. Get your emotions in check before you go outside, because this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. She went out there. She couldn't get the guy she wanted, so she went out there and she started smashing mad dudes. Right? She started smashing mad dudes. And it's like, yeah, just now I know what I really want. Wow. So she continues. I began to feel an incredible urgency to find the relationship and stability to see me through the second half of my life. To my amazement, I began seriously thinking about marriage and children. I hardly recognized myself. Like I said, man, I don't know what it's like to be a woman, but it sounds like it's awfully confusing. I don't know what it's like to be a woman. But ladies, if you think you're going to have a kid, you need to do it when you're young. So here she is in her late 30s, and she's like, I'm trying to find someone that I can have a family with. But she's still going to want the top tier guys. There are plenty of dudes out there that will get pregnant with her. Plenty. There are plenty of dudes that do it. But they're below her, financially speaking, right? Maybe on the sexual marketplace. She might be a 7. They might be, 6s and 5s and 4s. But these guys will bend over backwards, do anything for her But she ain't looking at them. She wants the top tier dudes. She wants the 8, 9s, and 10s. I mean, that's just what most people want. That's whose baby she wants to have. She wants to have the baby of a stud, of an alpha, of a top tier guy. Nothing wrong with that. But now she's like, man, I want to be a wife. I want to be a homemaker. I want to be a mom. Like, I hardly recognize myself. Like, bro, it sounds so confusing. So she continues, I also began to feel selfish for spending so much time focusing solely on myself. I went from proudly proclaiming I was too self-centered to be bothered with family and realizing there was more to life than independence and the pleasures of living for oneself. My very existence started to feel shallow and hollow. Nothing wrong with that. Put yourself first. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. You know what I mean? Brother Pitney, man, it's like, imagine your ex-wife doing everything you wanted to do for her for some dude that did nothing but blow her back out. LOL. The dating game is gonna dating game. I mean, bro, the game's cold, man. This game's cold, Jack. But it happens all the time. And this is another thing we tell dudes, like, hey, man, you know, I'm not telling you to be an asshole, but asshole traits do help. It is what it is. If you come out with player type traits, alpha, you know, like a lot of those guys they call sigmas, like you just doing your thing, you putting down your frame. She gets in there, you're just being masculine, and bam. The other guys looking at this like, oh, now you want to have a baby. You want to have his baby, but you didn't want to be with me. We were together when we were young. We could have 4 or 5 kids by now. That's just how the game is played. Don't get mad. Don't hate the players, guys. Hate the game. Hate the game. She continues, I worry I'll end up alone, but I'm still hopeful. Yeah. Yeah, she's going to end up alone. She's going to be a woman who went her own way because of her choices. Now, months after that realization, and at nearly 39, I feel panicked thinking I'll be single, childless, middle-aged woman, right? Which is what she's going to be, single and childless. That's where she is, right? She ain't the only one. I worry that my youthful looks will fade and that I won't be able to attract the man I want to spend the rest of my life with. See, she knows that she's always going to be able to attract a man, but she's not going to be able to attract the man she wants to spend the rest of her life with. Now she's keeping it 100. She's 39 years old. Of course, your youth and beauty is going to fade. Yeah, there's only so much makeup that can help you. Yeah. Again, there's nothing wrong with it. This is the game. I feel bad for her, but these were her choices. Right? But that part right there, man. I worry that my youthful looks will fade and that I won't be able to attract the man I want to spend the rest of my life with. So she knows there are plenty of dudes out there who want to holler at her. She wants the dudes that she wants. Like most, I mean, we want the best. Like, I want that. Can't get that. Now she's faced with maybe being alone. Right? She continues, if I sound desperate, it's because I honestly do feel a little desperate. At my age, I know that creating my life not to be an option for me. I'm sorry, not my life. She said at her age, she knows that creating life may not be an option for her. She knows she's past it. She's 40 years old. She's thinking about getting pregnant. Now she knows like just the science behind it. She knows like that might not be in the cards for her. And she says, I worry that men who want a family aren't looking for a woman pushing 40. That's a fact. She's like, I get it. I'm no longer the ideal candidate for motherhood. And it's a scary truth, but I still hope to find someone who thinks I am an ideal partner to create our family together. Like, baby, it's going to be hard to do it. She continues, I understand the appeal of life without some constraints of marriage or children. For my many years, I was quite satisfied living that way. I know people can live happy, purpose-driven lives without those things. I just don't believe I'm one of those people anymore. I know now that my purpose lies in having a husband and family. I meant to care for more than myself. I'm looking for my forever person and hoping he's looking for me too. bro, bro. That was all her. That was all her. Now, having a baby gonna be really difficult in her 40s. Really difficult. And if she were to have a baby, that child might have a lot of issues. She could find a husband. And I would say her best bet would be to find a guy who has kids. Maybe ideally find a guy who's a widower. So there's no mom around, like mom is no longer with us, right? But the second best option would be to co-parent with a guy that she's into and just help raise his kids, or she can adopt. But more than likely, she'll wind up with pets. Like Fresh said a long time ago, man, 3 years ago, man, invest in Chewy. She'll wind up with pets. I see so many women walking around with dogs, go to their house. They got cats, fish, all kind of exotic pets. Because I think there are a lot of women out there who are in her situation where they just made this choice and it just turned out the way it turned out. Unfortunately, women have to deal with the biological clock, right? But the good side to that is they're born with all their value up front. They have their youth and their beauty. They get all this attention. This woman had all these different options. And she said it. She went from marrying the guy she met in 6th grade. She married the dude, but under her conditions. I ain't having no kids, and how dare you ask me to do wifely duties? Damn. Okay, that didn't work because she had regret. I wanted to go to the big city and pursue my career in, interior design or whatever it was, digital design, whatever it was. He wanted to stay home in a small town and have a wife and kids. It came to a head. He's mad at her, asking questions like, how come you didn't wash the laundry today? And she's going off. You always asking me about cooking and doing the laundry. You know what? I ain't signed up for this. And they get divorced. He agreed to marry her under her conditions, under her frame. He joined her frame. It did not work. It did not work. She says, after that, I'm not getting into another serious relationship. I'm going to take my time. I am not looking to get married. I don't want to have any kids. I'm just going to pursue my career. Great. A few months later, probably less than 6 months, she probably met this dude. I'm thinking 60 days, she said months later. I'm thinking within maybe a month or two. I'm thinking within 60 days, she's with this older guy. And this guy came in there and she joined his frame. He laid down the groundwork. He said, these are the rules. You want to be with me? This is how it's going to go. I'm not having any kids. I don't want any relationship. I'm not trying to get married. All I'm trying to do is have this understanding. When I'm with you, it's me and you. I'm not going to mess with anyone else. But when we travel, when we go places, then you can, we do what we do. Just be careful. I care about you. You care about me. Don't bring home no diseases. And they did that for 7.5 years. And guess what? During that process, she realized, I like taking care of this man. I like cooking for this man. I like cleaning for this man. I really wish this man would let me in his space. But the dude was like, no, you ain't living here. We taking trips together. We smashing, drinking wine, having fun. You're a cutie. You coming out with me. We doing our thing. And when we're done doing our thing, you go back to your house. And I'm going to go to my house. And I'll see you next time. Good game. High five. Pat on the butt on your way out. 7.5 years she does this. And she realizes, I want to have this man's baby. I want to be this man's wife. And dude was like, nah, we ain't having that. It's over. Like, she was like, yeah, we broke up. No. He ended it. She no longer wanted to comply with his terms. He ended it. And guess what? He went out and found another 30-year-old and started all over again. That's what he did. The first husband probably went out and found a wife and kids. They didn't mention it. Brother Pablo was asking. They didn't mention it in the article, but I guarantee you that's what he went and did. He found, especially in a small town, he found a good woman, had kids with. He got the life he wanted. Meanwhile, this lady is left out in the cold. Here she is pushing 40, right? And this article was last year, so she's well into her 40s now. And she's like, I can't find the man I want. And I'm not looking as youthful as I used to look. I'm not as pretty as I used to be. Man, I got all this money though. And I got all these bodies. I went out here and did my thing. She did her thing. Like she said, I was in my late 30s doing what most people did in their 20s. What does she mean by that? I was out there getting smashed and I was smashing. I broke some hearts and I got my heart broken. That's what she said. So she pretty much went her own way when she hit her 40s. She hit her 40s. She can't find the guy she wants. So she's forced to kind of do the wig towel. I guess it's a woman who finds her own way, like she goes her own way because she can't get what she wants and she's not going to quote unquote settle. And that's terrible. It is what it is. Fact of madness. This woman is saying much more. It's way deeper. She could just look at the sperm donor and menu of 9s and 10s, but she wants the whole package. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, good to see you, bro. And she's not the only one. That narrative is being pushed out there. She's not the only one. Again, the problem is women come to the realization too late. And that's where we are right now. Like I said, I'll go out. I was out in a hood spot on Saturday. When a buddy of mine was having a birthday celebration. If it would have been anyone but him, I wouldn't have gone in there. It's a hood spot. I'm just too old, man. I'm too bougie. I don't like hood spots, man. It was urban. It was all that. But I went in there. It's my guy. And I'm looking around in there. And bro, it was 75% women. Those women were clustered up in groups of 3 and more. They were getting their own bottles, having their own little groups, doing their own thing. They come out dressed sexy. And they're looking around, their heads on a swivel, looking for men. The only men that were in this club was some LGBT rainbow guys in the corner. Big group of them. They were out. This was on Saturday. They were out. Like, whoa, it was a bunch of them. That was it. It was maybe a sprinkling of dudes outside of that. Like, and these women were looking around, getting their bottles, drinking up their alcohol, and leaving. Why? Because it just wasn't any dudes in there. And I left around midnight. Normally by midnight, the thing is bumping, it's jumping. It was just those women. There's a bunch of women in there. It was like at least it was like 75% women. 3 to 1. 3 to 1. If not more. And one of my guys in the group was like, hey man, why don't you talk to some of these girls? I'm like, man, this is not hell no. I ain't got nothing to say to these women. Like, I mean, only time when I talk to women, I'm really in it for the conversation. First of all, these women, there was no. I can hear what they were saying around me. Like, there's no way I'm gonna engage in the conversation with these women. Just not there. Secondly, if I'm talking to a woman, I'm trying to get her to come to my events. There weren't any women that I would want at one of my events. The way they were dressed, the way they were acting. Nah, I don't want them at my events. It's a different type of thing. So I'm like, nah, I'm good. Right. And here's the thing: those women, they're gonna have to start talking to dudes. They're gonna have to, and they won't do it, and they know they're gonna have to. So what were they doing? Like, it was a group of women behind us. This one girl kept backing up into me and hit me, whatever. I finally turned around and made some jokes or whatever, said what I had to say. Like, I'm just playing with you guys. And I turned right back around and went back to my business. And they couldn't believe, like, he ain't asking for no numbers, girl. He ain't trying to do this. Like, nah, I just got to acknowledge you because you keep bumping into me. And I wanted her to stop. And I wasn't going to turn around and say, stop bumping into me, Miss Piggy. I wasn't going to do that to her. So I had to turn around and, keep it light and funny and blah, blah, blah. Said whatever I said. Everybody's laughing. Okay. And I turned around and she stopped bumping into me. They left like 15 minutes later. But the thing is, women are out here and guys aren't approaching. That's a real deal. And then you got this woman here. She was out here dealing with some good guys and she just decided she didn't want to have any babies until it was too late. And now she wants to have babies. You know what I mean? Jinx in the building was good. Appreciate you. Hope you keep coming back. But it's just women are doing this thing. So there's another video I want us to watch. MSNBC, which I'm not a fan of. MSNBC is just too far to the left, like Fox is too far to the right. But there was something here that I think that we should look at. JD Vance, red pilled ? Right? His childish cat lady obsession may be a manosphere brainwashing. See, I don't know why they put that on us, right? Why they put that on the Mano Swamp? Why they put that on the red pill world? Bro, women have a biological clock, and for women to think that, well, I'm going to go out here, finish my degree, maybe get an advanced degree, right? And I'm going to wait until I'm out of college. I'm going to wait until I'm well into my career to start finding a good guy. And I'm still going to try to find the best dude. You just don't have enough time to do all that. It has nothing to do with red pill or manosphere. It's a function of having enough time. Just having enough time. What's good? Like, what's up, General? Hey, y'all know what I do over here, man. That's what did Myron call me? The bosses over there with the city groups, and we're doing what we can. Shout out to Jocasta. Shout out to all our generals. Shout out to everybody. Yeah, man. And she was a big girl, Brother Pablo. She was a big girl. I didn't want to be mean to her, but there's no way in hell I was going to talk to her. And that's where we are right now. So women are out here doing this thing, and somehow it's the manosphere's fault. It's our problem. It's the male's problem. Like, bro, we didn't design humans. So let's listen to this. I haven't listened to this. It's about 6 minutes. I haven't listened to this at all. I wanted to kind of do a live reaction. Let's check this out.
Post-Dobbs, it is a dark world for women, and it will become even darker if Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have their way. According to the former Trump administration officials over at the Heritage Foundation, they plan on curbing what they call abortion tourism. And what they really mean is they would stop women who live in states that are reproductive health care deserts from traveling to another state for care.
All right, we can see already where this is going. I'm not going to be able to play this because the algo doesn't like me already, and the big A word is going to keep getting bounced off of here. But they're trying to tie this to the Project 2025, which they should. I mean, if you're a Democrat, you definitely want to tie Trump to this as best you can. J.D. Vance is all about it, and this is the best way to tie Trump to it. This is gonna really help with the female vote, especially like the young girls. So I was hoping. I'm gonna let this play without the volume. I'm just gonna let this play and just see what they're talking about. Yeah, I should have known. MSNBC is just all pro-Democrat stuff, just like Fox is all pro-conservative, pro-Republican stuff. What they want to do with reproduction rights and stuff like that, man, that really hurts. That really hurts them. And I'm not going to be able to play this, man. It's just too much of the deletion word, the A word. It's just going to mess me up, man. So we're not going to be able to watch that, guys. But I thought it was going to be because they were talking about the manosphere and all that. They want to tie the Mano Swamp and the Red Pill, to the conservative movement. They want to tie it to Trump, to the Republicans. And yeah, there are a lot of conservative dudes. You look at most young men are going Republican, whereas most young women are going, liberal Democrat. You got that big divide going on right now. But when it comes to this, when it comes to women going their own way, when it comes to women being forced out of the dating market because they couldn't get what they wanted, I think that women are being misled. I think is a bad thing. This whole boss babe waiting until the end, because if you like that woman from that article we read, man, like if she really wants kids and she can't have them, man, that's very sad. She could have had plenty of kids. Her story started when she was in her young 20s. She had a guy who loved her. They were in it. All she had to do was boom, let's go ahead and do it. Listen to him, follow his frame. He said, I want a wife and I want kids and this is going to be great. But she didn't want to listen to him. She was bought in to the boss babe lifestyle. And then what happens? She goes from her 20s to her 40s. And then she realizes, you know what? I really do want that. Well, we can't turn back the clock, can we? How are you going to be able to get this kid? How are you going to have a kid at 40, 42 years old, 43 years old? That's bad for the child. Kids take a lot of work. That's bad for the child. That's provided the child comes out healthy. So, I mean, it's really hard to feel bad for women who buy into this and then they get really mad and they get all this money, all this freedom, and they're sitting around unhappy. And that's sad. And here's the thing. They could still get a guy that loves them and wants to be with them. There's still a dude out there that would love to be with that woman, but she's overlooking him because she wants the top tier dude, and that top tier dude has options. He's doing exactly what he wants to do. I mean, Brother Pitton, you're right, man. Yeah, the manosphere is a very convenient whipping boy. Yep, prepare for all sorts of unrelated social problems and offhand remarks to be blamed on it. That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. I mean, it's the boogeyman, right? And when you really peel back the layers, I mean, what are they talking about here? What are they talking about? What are these dudes talking about? They're just looking at science and math and numbers, and like, yeah, if you want to find you someone, ladies, if you're an average woman, which most people are, you're probably not going to get into a long-term relationship with a guy who is top tier, 8, 9, or 10 guy. It's just not going to happen. It's not enough of them. They have choices. Now they will mess around with you. They'll play with you now, but they ain't gonna marry you. So have your fun, but come back. You know what I mean? Come back to your senses. Come back home and get you a guy who's a 5 or a 6, 4 or 5 or 6. That guy's gonna love you. He's gonna do everything for you. That's the guy. That's him. But a lot of ladies are saying, nah, I gotta have it all. Gotta have it all. So let's check out this Alex Clark. Millennial women sold the lie of boss babe life or yearning for traditional family. That kind of goes with the article that we just read. Let's pull this up. This one we'll be able to watch. They're not going to be dropping the A word, and I don't have to worry about the stream getting shut down. It is what it is. So let's check this out, guys. Again, I haven't seen this. I'm not sure what they're going to be talking about, but here we go.
So I am a young millennial, and for my generation, we were really sold this boss babe life. Put your career first. Don't get married. Don't have a kids. Don't even think about that until your mid to late 30s. Don't worry about it. Your career is what is going to fulfill you. And we really bought into that lie. And so many millennials, and some older than me, they did do that. And then everyone realized, oh, wait, now I have the big promotion. I am making a lot of money. Women are by the way, the left doesn't want to talk about this, but women are out earning men. I mean, to and from that, this wage gap thing is such BS. But they have.
She's keeping it 100. Women are out earning men in major cities. Yeah, they're coming out with their college degrees and they're earning more money. They are out earning their male counterparts. That's true early on. This is a very attractive woman. I don't know who Alex Clark is. I guess her show is Politics or something like that. I've never seen her, but I am noticing she does not have a ring on her finger. She is very, like, this woman right here is, I see so many of them when I go out, when I go to Miami, New York, LA, Vegas, Atlanta, DC, especially. See so many beautiful women who are in their, like, early to mid 30s, some late 30s, wearing designer clothing. And I'm not sure who she's wearing, but man, that looks good on her. She's fit. Her makeup is done right. I mean, she's wearing a lot of makeup, but not overly done. Her hair is modestly done. Nice earrings and stuff like that. Nails are looking good. She's probably wearing some really expensive shoes. Like, very, very attractive woman. No reason at all that she should be single. Now, this woman right here, I doubt if she's single. You know what I mean? She probably has someone, like they always do, but she's probably running a rotation of her own because she's trying to go after these top tier guys. This woman is probably a top earner. And she said it. She was like, man, feminism was a lie, bro. I got sold a bill of goods. And now look at me, because she is competing with all the women from 18 to her age for the same dudes. Now, this woman right here, she is not going to settle for a man who makes less than she does. She has a lifestyle that she's going to maintain. She's going to maintain that lifestyle. Now, she might mess around with a dude who got some game, right? Who knows what he's saying and can have some fun and be cool with her. But she ain't going to want to settle down with someone like me. I'm already retired she ain't going to try to get married. And then now, as far as having a baby too, that's going to hurt her earning potential probably. So, I mean, there's a lot going on with that. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's actually somewhat interesting. I've never seen that, bro. I've never seen that. Politics. I've never seen it.
Have all of that, but they still feel like they're missing something. And the truth is that we were made for more. We were made to pour into a family and a husband and have children. And that is what is going to fulfill you at the end of the day. Like your career, at the very end of your life, how much money you made and everything isn't going to matter, but who's going to be at your bedside on your deathbed. And And so I think a lot of millennials started to have that wake up call, and now Gen Z is starting to have that wake up call. And so young conservatives really are embracing this. It's called trad wife lifestyle. So traditional wife, you know, being a stay-at-home mom and putting a focus on that. And so I think that's amazing. And, you know, that's something I think about too. I have a really serious relationship right now. We're not engaged yet, but it's something that we're talking about. And, you know, he knows that that's super important. Obviously, I feel like I'm in a place that God wants me to be with hosting this show, but I also really want to be a mother. And at the end of the day, if I had to choose to lose all of this, and if that was the only way to be a mother, I would choose that. And we'll see what ends up happening. Maybe there's a way for me to balance both a little bit. But I think a lot of girls are waking up to the fact that family really is everything and putting more of a priority back on that. And so I cannot wait to see how Gen Z really takes that back.
As a young
Man, she said a whole lot, but she ain't lying. And again, when the camera did the close up, man, she's a very attractive young woman. Don't know her age. I would guess that she's in her late 20s. That would be my guess, but I could be wrong. And I don't know when this was filmed, but very attractive, very smart. And she's like, "Oh, I'm in a long-term relationship." And okay, she's in a long-term relationship. What about him? Like, what is he doing? What is he looking at? Like, ladies, if you're with a guy, a top tier dude, and you guys are in a relationship, and you guys have been in a relationship over 3 years, and he hasn't proposed, like 2 years. Normally, I tell guys 2 years is a good time to vet. We're vetting. Okay, she stood up to 2 years. She's a good woman. You should be proposed to her. If you're gonna do it, you should already be proposed to her. What's holding him back? Right? He's thinking about that. You know, at least if we accept the numbers that half of marriages fail in America. He's looking at that. He's looking at the stuff that he has to lose. Like, man, do I feel like coming off of half, maybe a third of my stuff, like paying for lawyers and all that kind of stuff, going through the family law system? That's why dudes like, I don't know. Like, I love her. She's a great girl, but man, I don't know about this. You know, so you're gonna need paperwork. I mean, she's probably doing pretty good, so she might be open to some paperwork, but you see what I mean? And if she's looking at traditional, like, I don't want to sign a prenup, then like, I ain't getting married to you. So ladies, if you're with a dude for over 2 years, definitely 3 years, and he hasn't put a ring on your finger, she's already talking about like, well, we're talking about it. She's thinking about it. He's not thinking about it. Like, he's probably not going to do it. Ladies, if you want him to be willing to take that risk and marry you, come up with a prenup, come up with a contract. This states, hey man, if I leave you, I get nothing. If you leave me, we'll just do whatever, we'll just split what we've made from the time that we get married. Put it out there. Start the negotiations, because a man who has done well for himself, he's thinking about that. I mean, I get married to her. 7 years later, we get a divorce. We got to go through that. It's going to be costly. I'm going to lose this, and this. Is it really worth it? That's what he's thinking about. That's what he's thinking about, because she is fun. And Brother Pitney, like, looks like she is 31. Yep. I was thinking late 20s, 31, early 30s. She's behind the power curve. Right? Whoever she's talking to, that guy, he could probably get him a 28-year-old, 26-year-old. Just as powerful, just as beautiful. But that girl, she might be willing to, hey, I'm going to sign it here. You know what I mean? Ladies, y'all might have to do that. If you're trying to get your top tier guy to commit to you, you might have to come with the paperwork. Like, look, here's the prenup. I got it. This is the prenup. I'm going to sign it. This thing right here protects you if I decide to leave you. If I initiate divorce, I get nothing, basically, or I get very little. Ladies, if you're trying to get locked in, that's what you should do. Brother Viking Paradigm in the building. That's what you should try to do, ladies, if you're trying to get that guy. But let's continue.
millennial myself, I would totally agree with what you just said. The lies that were kind of sold, and I don't think that they were maliciously instilled in the daughters. They thought it was right, and many friends, my personal friends and family members, have also started to wake up to wait. Maybe being a 45-year-old CEO, I'm still alone and I don't have a family, and it didn't fulfill me. So
well, and you know what is so many of my friends too did the waiting and then finally decided in their mid to late 30s, okay, now I think I am ready to have a family. And then you experience a lot of times fertility issues with that, with the waiting, and you put career first and everything. And that's just a huge struggle, I think, too. And so a lot of people are waking up to the fact like, oh, I I wish that I would have tried to do this sooner. And I think that's something too that's been an eye-opener for people. Plus the fact that, and I talk about this a lot on my shows, which is very controversial even with conservatives, but the fact that almost all of us were prescribed, if you're a millennial, we were all prescribed birth control, whether we were having sex or not in high school at 15 years old for no reason, just to regulate periods or acne or whatever, and then not knowing otherwise the side effects, and then being on that through our 30s, and then realizing, oh my goodness, this has impacted my fertility.
Wow, that was good. Wow. And the woman who was conducting the interview, I noticed that she had a ring on her fingers. Dr. B is in the building. What's good, fam? Notice she had a ring on her finger. Nah, she's not 45, man. She's 31. She's 45. She's 31. Alex Clark. Brother Penny looked it up. But it appears she's 31. But the woman who was conducting the interview, she had a ring on her finger. And that part that she mentioned about, birth control at such a young age, that has to have an effect, a devastating effect on the human body for so many decades. That's something that I think about. I have a teenage daughter. That's something we think about, like, oh man, but the bit about going after the bag, being a CEO, getting there, like, men love that. Men build stuff. Like, we're cool with that. I think it's devastating for women. Women, I think women need that, to have a child, to have grandkids, to know what it's like to be a mom. I think that's really important to females, like to the female psyche, whereas men, not so much. But it is crazy. W for saying that, point out loud, fertility issues is a big one. Yeah, man, because there's so many women who have these issues of being fertile, like just being old by herself, but then you tack on all of the medicines that we use to suppress it. That has to have a devastating effect on the human body. Like fertility is one of those things. Is like, bro, like, we know the longer you wait, the harder it is, especially when you get into your 30s, and then you add on to all that, all the birth control you've been taking since you were 15, sometimes 14 years old. Man, decades and decades of that has to be a problem, bro. You know what I mean? Has to be a problem. But bro, it's I guess it's tough out here, man. It gets tough out here. Like, when we're looking at this, like when we had these conversations, I definitely love to hear what women have to say about all this. I know what they say when I'm out in the real world and we're just talking. It's a tough conversation to have with women who don't have kids. The women who do have kids, they're like, cool. It's just a matter of them finding someone to spend the rest of their life with. Like old girl said, it's about having someone to share your deathbed with, or to at least tend to you while you're on your deathbed. But the women who have families, they just looking for a dude. Again, they could find a guy, and some of them do. Some of them like, you know what? I just need someone to be with. And then way late in life, into their 60s, they'll find someone that they can just, eat yogurt with, walk through the park with, or whatever. Because at the end, we're going to want someone with us, and they can find someone. But even then, they want the best guy available. I mean, that programming is so hard to overcome, bro. It's so hard to overcome. So we got one last video we're going to watch. This video is What is Feminism? Illustrate to Educate. That's the name of the podcast. All these videos, by the way, are in the description below, guys. If you want to go watch the whole thing or watch them over, it's the MSNBC one we didn't even watch. So if you guys want to go back and watch that, this is all in the description below. Check them out, please. Like and subscribe over there. Yeah, man. Alex, what's her name again? Alex Clark. Man, she's a cutie, bro. She is a cutie. And that right there, as attractive as Alex Clark is, how is it she's not married and she wants to be married? She wants to be married. And that's what ties into the whole family law system. I guarantee you that's the reason that her boyfriend is not trying to marry her. He's trying to figure out a way around the family court system, because in the back of his head, not even the back of his head, the front of his head, he knows that this is probably going to end in divorce. So he's trying to figure out how to minimize the loss. There's a lot of dudes out there who are like, well, if you love someone, just take the risk. If it doesn't work, whatever. That's just the cost of playing the game. But there are other guys out there like, man, I got too much shit. I'm not trying to give half of this away. I'm not trying to do it. Right? Those dudes are like, And think about it. Even Sister Alice Clark, man, she's giving that sweet milk away for free. She's with this dude, and dude's doing his thing. She's giving it away. So what's his incentive to sign the documentation? Why sign a contract that he knows isn't going to work in his favor? Ladies, if you are out here dealing with a top tier guy, y'all should go out and get the prenup. Go out and get a prenup that protects him if you leave him. That's the key. If you leave him, if you initiate a divorce because of something you did, then you walk away with nothing. But if he does you wrong, then he's going to have to pay out X, Y, or Z. Start there, and then y'all can negotiate the contract, and then boom, you giving him what he wants, and he'll give you what you want, which is that ring, that last name, that marriage. It is what it is. And Brother Penny is saying, like many other women, she's probably only willing to deal with the top tier guy. Absolutely. I mean, she's fine. Why not? Right? Why not deal with the guy who can take you to Milan? Why not deal with the guy who could take you to Morocco? You know what I mean? Or he can take you to Silverstone to watch F1 or whatever. He can take you wherever. Why not? He can get you on the red carpet. Why not go with that guy? If you can, I mean, she certainly can. Like she's in play. Like she can do it. Why not? I would. Like, why not? It's like a dude. If a dude has a choice between a woman who is like, I don't know, a 4, kind of a little pudgy, maybe a little overweight, and then a woman who's like a 9.5, beautiful woman who's like an actress, and both of them love you equally, you can only pick one. Which one you're gonna pick? Of course you're gonna go with the actress. Why not? Yeah, I go with her, especially if you're a brokey. Like, yeah, I want the fine one. So let's check out this video. What is feminism? What is a feminist? Feminism explained, right? Feminist initiative movements explained. Let's watch this. This is less than 4 minutes. I'm just gonna let this play all the way through. This would be kind of cool to watch. Let's check this out.
Have you ever wondered what feminism is? Hey, it's Dan Zimmerman, and welcome back to Illustrate to Educate. In this short video, we'll take an informative dive into feminism by looking at its definition, key principles, and examples of feminist initiatives throughout history. First, what is feminism? Feminism is a social, political, and cultural movement that advocates for the rights and equality of all genders, with a particular focus on addressing and rectifying historical and systemic inequalities faced by women. It seeks to challenge and dismantle patriarchal structures, norms, and biases that have perpetuated gender-based discrimination. There are 4 key principles of feminism. The first is gender equality. Feminism aims to establish equal opportunities, rights, and treatment for people of all genders, challenging the idea that certain roles, responsibilities, or privileges are inherently tied to one's gender. Second is women's rights. Historically, feminism has focused on addressing the specific challenges faced by women, such as reproductive rights, economic disparities, and access to education and healthcare. Third is intersectionality. Recognizing that individuals experience oppression differently based on various intersecting factors such as race, class, sexual orientation, and ability, feminism strives to be inclusive and address multiple layers of discrimination. Lastly is critical analysis. Feminism encourages a critical examination of societal norms, institutions, and cultural practices that contribute to the subjugation of women and marginalized genders. Let's look at some examples of feminist initiatives and issues throughout recent history. First is the suffrage movement, which was part of the first wave of feminism of the late 19th and early 20th centuries, which focused on securing women's right to vote. Notable examples include suffragette movements in the United States and the United Kingdom. Next is reproductive rights. Feminist activism has played a crucial role in advocating for women's reproductive rights, including access to contraception, safe and legal abortion, and comprehensive health care. Third is equal pay. There are ongoing feminist efforts aimed to address the gender pay gap, advocating for equal pay for equal work, and challenging systemic discrimination in the workplace. Then there's a focus on violence against women. feminist campaigns work to raise awareness about and combat various forms of violence against women, including domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking. Next is the hashtag #MeToo movement, which began in 2006. #MeToo movement emerged as a feminist campaign against sexual harassment and assault, providing a platform for survivors to share their experiences and demand accountability. Next is the focus on body positivity and beauty standards. Feminism challenges unrealistic beauty standards imposed on women and promotes body positivity, encouraging self-acceptance and challenging harmful stereotypes. Lastly is the representation of women in media. Feminists advocate for diverse and accurate representation of women and marginalized genders in media, challenging stereotypes and promoting more inclusive narratives. Did you find this video about feminism to be helpful?
Yeah, I think I did, bro. So we're definitely going to watch that video again at some point. Because when you look at it, when you look at those points that were made, the first few points right up until the right to vote and all that, cool. All right, I'm with you. But after that, all the rest of the stuff, the body positivity, the beauty standards, the wage gap stuff, reproductive rights, bro, especially like reproductive rights, it's like everything that they're asking for beyond the right to vote is more than being equal to me. You're asking for stuff that, men don't even have. Which, okay, I ain't mad at you, but we don't have that. So we're definitely going to use that video in another one of our episodes. We definitely I want to talk about that video. But so you look at that, you look at the movement, you look at the ideals that young women are being told, like it's kind of getting into their heads. This is why they work so hard. This is why colleges are dominated by women right now. This is why, women are chasing their bag. They're after their careers and not thinking about being a mom or a wife. And this is why there are women out there like the woman we read from that article who get to the end and they realize they made a mistake. Like, I want to be a mom. I want to have a family. I want a man that I could take care of, that could take care of me, that we love each other. But I'm 42 years old now. I'm in my 40s and I want to have a child. This is where we are. Right? This is where we are, bro. Dr. B was like, Tyrese just got arrested for not paying enough child support. Women can't understand how the system is so against men. That is crazy. Is that true? He got arrested, fam? Damn. For not paying enough. I mean, wow. And again, this is the kind of stuff that men see is like, I'm not, going back to Alex. Her dude ain't gonna marry her. He'll be a fool to marry her. Why? Why do that, man? Go get married in some other country somewhere to some woman from another country and just go see her. Why? Casual fam in the building. What's good? Casual fan too. Appreciate you stopping by, man. Appreciate the like. Please, yeah, if you guys don't mind, hit that like if you don't mind. If you haven't already done so, appreciate it. Brother Penny is just agreeing. Yeah, feminism no longer aims for equality, man. It's all about supremacy. And I have to agree with that statement. I have to agree with that statement. There's nothing out there that men can do that women can't do. If there is, it's illegal. Like, it's just, and again, the fact that women don't have to register with Selective Service, like, at least make that a thing. They don't have to do that. Yeah, we're definitely we're gonna pull that video back. We're gonna do another episode and we're gonna talk about that video by itself. Dr. B is like, but by the time they want to, it's too late. That's true. Talking about having kids. Yeah, they get old, it's too late to have kids. Guys are not trying to start anything with a 45-year-old woman. Not having kids. I mean, a guy will get with a 45-year-old woman, especially if she's like, friendly and beautiful and all that, still fine for her age. He'll be with her just where he can like end of life kind of stuff, but they ain't trying to have no kids. Not trying to do that. Jay Jeng was good. He's like, what would be your solution to a young guy that wants to build a legacy in this current world? Good question, bro. Okay. If by legacy, man, you're talking about, family, like finding yourself a wife, having kids and all that stuff. it starts with the individual, starts with the guy, right? It definitely starts with the man. So it's like, all right, bro, what you need to do is, I would tell the guys, you need to focus on yourself. He has to ask himself some questions. Like, he has to figure out what his mission is. What is most important to him? Is having a family most important, or is having a career most important? Like, you start there. If the guy's like, the most important thing to me is having a family, okay, cool. You're going to have to be able to support said family. So you're going to have to focus on getting yourself a good career or starting yourself a business where you have benefits and stuff like that. Right. So if your focus is going to be the family, make sure that you can provide. You want to be a good provider. You need to do that. You also need to understand the game, because you're going to have to find yourself a good woman. And that's very difficult today. It's really hard. So you're going to have to find a good woman, because you're not looking for a girlfriend. You're not looking for a wife. You're looking for the mother of your children. Right. So you're going to have to find a woman who has a good relationship with her family. She has, her values align with yours. And most importantly, like, she's on your team. Like, you're going to have to find a good woman. You're going to have to vet her properly, which means you're going to have a community set up just going to help you vet this woman, people that you trust, that you listen to. Right. So you're going to have to do that. You may have to leave this country to find a woman you're looking for. It may come to that. You may have to. I would try to find her here in America. She's definitely here. It just takes a lot of work. But depending on your age and, and all that kind of stuff, you might have to leave the country. But once you do those things, like, figure out exactly what you want and then take steps to get to that goal, I think you'll be fine. The money is key. You're going to have to find a way to support your family. I'm here to tell you, man, kids are expensive. Kids are expensive, bro. So you're going to have to figure that part out. But there are a lot of women who want kids. A lot of these women, they're old, they're past it. You got to find that young woman who's able to think through the programming of feminism. Is like, nah, that doesn't make sense. There are a lot of young, sharp girls, and like now there are women coming up. They're getting told these things up front, so they're thinking about it before they get out of high school. They're thinking about it. Like, no, I do want to be a mom. I do want to be a wife. Right? You want that little girl that's sitting around practicing how to spell your last name. Right? You don't want that little girl that's talking about, I'm going to have a hyphenated name. Right? You don't want to be Jada Pinkett Smith. You want that girl that's gonna want to be you. If your last name is Jones, she wants to be Mrs. Jones. That's part of it. And so getting your game up and understanding what's out here in the sexual marketplace is just as important as getting your money up in the situation that you're talking about, building a legacy. I would start there, because you got to do both, and you have to be well versed in both equally. If you're trying to find a wife, that's going to be very, very difficult. And you're gonna need your family, your village, to help you find your wife. So I would stay there, man. So my solution would be, figure out what's important to you. If it's more important to you, like, if you really want that wife and family, understand the games, understand when you're dealing with women who are gamed up, so you can find that good woman. Make sure you got a good 2-year vetting process, and make sure you have a community that's going to help you vet this woman. You got a good relationship with your mom or dad or your close family members. Sometimes we got to create our own family, our own little village, because we were born into situations where maybe we didn't have a good mom or dad or whatever. So, create that bubble for yourself, right? You create that bubble, and you're in the middle, and you're trusted by the people who love and respect you. And then when you bring in that person, they're going to be looking out for your best interest. They're going to help you vet this woman. They're going to find out what type of woman she is. And remember, you want that girl who doesn't want to go out. She doesn't have an Instagram. She's not all out here thirst trapping or whatever. She certainly doesn't have an OF. She's not trying to be one of the cool kids wearing a ton of makeup. You want a woman who loves herself, who is okay with who she is, who understands who she is. And above all, if you want that woman who's into you, and you can't, she's sitting around, spelling your last name because she wants your last name, no, and not a hyphenated name. I would say that, I would definitely say that. Tyrese Gibson needs $73K to get released. Damn. That's a judge, bro. That comes down from a judge. A judge had to sign that. That's a judge. They must believe that he's hiding money somewhere. That is terrible. Tyrese, oh my goodness. That is terrible. And the man could be, see, this is when, see, is that kind of stuff right there. When people talk about getting married. Like, why take these kind of risks? If you have something to lose, just don't do it. Just don't do it unless you get that prenup, unless you get that contract modified to your advantage. Just don't do it. Man, don't do it. Man, Brother Penny is saying any guy that wants to go for a legacy in the day and age needs to put his woman through an extreme vetting, even like that, even when you're gonna want even then you're gonna want a prenup. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, bro. You're definitely gonna want that, man. Like marriage is, if you have something to lose, marriage could be a real problem for you, bro. You got to figure that part out. Now, there are ways to separate your funds from a marriage, like, through different entities, C Corps, S Corps, LLCs, trusts, and all that kind of stuff. There's ways to do it. And if you have a lot of money, your people, again, your village will show you, the way how to structure all that. But man, look, man, Tyrese Gibson is locked up until he comes up with $73,000. That is insane, man. That is absolutely insane. Damn. Why get married, guys? Just why get married? Or if you're going to get married to a woman who has more than you, and you ain't got to worry about that. You know what I mean? You want to be the dude who was married to Kelly Clarkson, or be married to someone like, J-Lo or Halle Berry or something like that. You want to marry a extremely wealthy woman and not have to worry about it. Not that you're going to try to take from her. It's just, if it's over, it's over. You just go your happy way. No one's paying nobody. Or if you dirty like that, if you gangster like that, hit her with the papers and hit her with alimony and whatever else. But it is what it is. A lot of women don't date down. That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. They will smash down, right? They'll go down, they'll mess around and have some fun. But a lot of women will not date a guy that's less than she is. Most women date across and up on the scales, and most men, they just date whatever. There is no scale for a man. Men aren't really hypergamous like that. Men want the most attractive, the youngest women, sometimes they can get or whatever. They want the most attractive women that they can get. They don't care if she's working at Burger King making fries, or if she's the CEO of operations for Burger King. It doesn't matter to them. But women, it does. It matters a lot to women. So appreciate you, Dom, for coming through. Thank you so much for that. Hope to see you in the future. For all those people who are new to this channel, man, thank you so much. You're welcome here. You see what we do over here, man. This is all we do, man. We had these conversations. We try to come up with solutions as best we can. We have fun when we can. And sometimes it gets wild, but for the most part, man, we keeping it right here. We're just trying to have conversations and plant seeds and give people, the tools they need to think things through, man. We really encourage people thinking it through. So if you're a young guy out here and you're trying to get with a woman, you don't have anything, that's fine. Go out here and, find your fortune first, get yourself right, but make sure you're up on game. Understand how the game works, guys. This dating game right now is crazy. You see it on YouTube, you see it on Instagram. You see it out here on social media, right? These women out here just doing their thing, these young girls. It is what it is. And even the older women, they're out here doing their things. You want to find those women who don't go out. You want to find those women who are looking to be in a more stable, traditional relationship. You want to find those women who want to marry. They're out there. There's a lot of them out there. Don't get it twisted. There's a lot of women who do not like what's going on right now. They're out there. But they get confused and they get bogged down in all the smoke and mirrors of feminism and whatnot and materialism and stuff like that, bro. And, they're young. And there are guys out there who are running the game and getting what they want. They're getting the milk for free. Right? Tons of dudes out there getting it. And a lot of women are falling prey to it. It is what it is. Just like dudes are falling prey to these girls who are running game on them. And they're, running these dudes' pockets, getting taken out on helicopter dinners and, having guys buy them expensive bags and stuff like that. You ain't got to do all that, bro. You ain't got to do all that. So, and that's what we talk about over here. Tomorrow we'll probably be talking, later on this week, we'll be talking about getting your game together. We'll talk about exactly what I mean when women place themselves in your orbit. We'll talk about that. So when guys come over here, bro, we're talking about how to get out here and deal with the sexual marketplace out as it exists today. And this information can help some women too. Ladies, A lot of y'all are being forced to go your own way. Most of y'all don't want to go your own way. Most of you women want relationships. Y'all are making it, not all of y'all, but some of y'all are making it way too difficult. When I go out, I don't even approach women like I used to 20 years ago. I don't. I'll wait for them to come up to me. The game has changed. Women are just, how come guys aren't chasing me? It's so sexy when a guy chases me. He's not doing that anymore. And women, again, when women say stuff like that, they want men to approach them. They want men that they find attractive to approach them. They don't want just any old body to approach them. So this is where we are. Maybe we'll go over one of Homad's videos again, because Homad does a really good job of breaking this stuff down. Guys are coming away from it. Guys are not paying anymore. Guys are not subscribing to the nonsense. Again, they've realized the juice simply is not worth the squeeze. And guys are just sitting back. Some dudes are like me. I'm not MGTOW all the way. I'm just sitting back. Just sitting back doing my thing. Right, that's it. I'm enjoying life. I'm sitting back. I'm doing my thing. Once my daughter's done with high school, maybe I'll get more into the game again. But until then, I'm not looking for no type of relationship, nothing. Trust me, I've had people come up to me and women want to holler at me. I'm like, nope, I'm not doing it. Not doing it. And I could have easily told them what they wanted to hear just so I can get, so I can smash, get that Foxy Brown, beat it all up, blow the backs out. But I don't even want to do that. Don't want to do it. And then occasionally I'll come across a woman about once or twice a year, I'll come across a woman who's just basically saying, here, I want you to have it. Take this. I want to give it to you right now. I mean, just literally like, I want you to blow my back out. Okay, come back to the tally. And they bout that. A couple times I didn't even know their name. They would just bout it. Like, I know you're not from here. I like your vibe. I want to come back. And they just tell you. They was whispering in your ear. I want you to F my brains out. I heard that. Wow, so many times. Young girls. So those are the only times that I'm actually out there doing something. Those are the only girls that I deal with like that. The rest of them, I ain't trying to have no relationships. I just have to leave them alone. And that's just how it is right now, man. So hope you guys enjoyed it, man. That's all I got for today. This is definitely the cost of hypergamy, man. Women are going their own way, right? That very first article we read, man, is definitely it's linked in the description below. Check out that article. Read that again. Listen to what she was saying. Listen to her story. 22 years old. She had a man who wanted to give her children and make her his wife and all that. And she said no, right? Only to turn it around 20 years later. Now she's in her 40s and she's like, yeah, I want a man to marry me. I want to have kids. What? It doesn't work that way. That woman was basically forced to go her own way. She forced herself to do that. No one else did. And even in the end, she still won't talk to men who are at her level. She only wants a certain caliber of guy. And, sucks to be her. But that's it. That's all I got to say. Right? Appreciate y'all rocking out with me, man. I'm DL saying this is that I Really Want to Know podcast. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.
Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
Darn, that's the end.